are so excited for tonight. I am Mariah Gardner, and this is my co-host,
Christian Epic.
All right. I am so excited for everybody to be here tonight. Over the past 6 weeks, we've had contestants going through the preliminaries and working super hard on ideas to be here today.
And then over the past 6 weeks, they have been working hard to create their product and have now been through the pre-pitch to tonight's live event.
So without further ado, let's introduce our judges and get this thing started. First off, we have Scott Moffitt. Scott Moffitt? Yes, give it up for Scott Moffitt. Scott Moffitt is the co-founder of Ideal Strategic Partners and strategic partner of Christian Business Fellowship.
Our next judge is the CEO and founder of T&E Brokers in Columbus and is also a Cedarville alum. Would you give it up for Travis Smith?
And last but definitely not least, we have Ed Wilson. Ed Wilson is an adjunct professor at the Air Force Academy and a board member of several institutions, as well as the founder and now president and CEO of Pinnacle Strategic Consulting.
Awesome. Well, judges, we are so excited for you all to be here. We just want to quickly get to know you so that the audience can understand your personalities. Scott, you were a judge last year. You're back. What are your expectations for this year's contestants?
Last year was amazing. Everyone did a great job, and I'm hoping that the contestants were able to see some of the discussions that were had, the questions that were asked, and able to use that to prepare to knock the cover off the ball tonight.
Thank you, Scott. And Travis, what about you? How are you feeling about tonight?
I'm feeling pretty nervous, actually. No, I'm kidding. But I'm really excited to see what the students have to offer. This is a pretty big production, something bigger than what we did when I was in college. So I'm really proud of you guys already. So good luck tonight.
Thank you so much, Travis. And Ed, give us some of your thoughts.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here. Expectations are high because I hear some of these pitches have been amazing. So the expectations, I think, for all of us are there. Looking forward to the competition, and let's get underway.
All right, sounds good. Now let's talk a little bit about our first contestant. Christian, who likes socks in here? Let's start with that. Who likes socks in here?
Now, who likes expressing themselves with their socks when you need to dress up?
Ooh, Christian, I think you could do better with socks, personally. But that's okay. Moving on. Let's introduce the Rockwet brothers, who have a new innovative idea on socks.
Hello, I am Hendrik, and this is Frederick, and we are the Rockwit Brothers. And we're really excited to present this idea. We believe it will blow your socks off. So, when we're thinking, this business, so are you ever saddened by your inability to express yourself through your socks? And that you feel limited with your wardrobe to really express truly who you are? And then also, do you ever find your clothing to be a divisive thing more than a unifying and uniting thing? Where you get up in the morning and you don't know what people will think of what you wear. And so we thought a way to fix this would be to use socks. So our answer to these problems, Frederick will explain.
The answer is subscription service Spirit Socks. I want to introduce to all of you a world where socks are not just accessories, but are actually podiums of self-expression. Imagine if your socks could be a frame and your personality could paint a picture on that frame. We're gonna get rid of boring socks that have no real practical purpose, and we're gonna help give confidence to people and help them put their best foot forward. And we're also gonna help knit people together in friendship and community around their common and maybe uncommon personality traits.
So how are these concepts gonna be united? Well, it'll work by members, when they subscribe, they take a personality test. That's the part that's really unique about this. So they take a personality test, for instance, Enneagram 1 for this customer, and then every month we pick a category for that month. So for instance, we could pick fruit. And so then if we pick fruit, this Enneagram 1 customer, we pick categories for each personality. So he could be an orange. So he's bright, he's got tough skin, and he holds everybody together. And so then he gets orange socks for that month. So then we package it, send it to the customer, and then they get socks that are more than just fun socks. They're socks that are linked to who they are, which then can really make a break in the mundane, create a talking point beyond just, oh, you've got fun socks, you know? So that's how it works.
This is a very new process. We do have some competitors. There are other subscription service sock companies out there. However, we have a couple things that sets us very far apart. We offer a unique element of value to the customers. These socks are truly personalized, and we seek to understand our customers so that we can tailor the socks to their individual tastes. We also offer a chance for community. We offer people an opportunity for people to get to know each other a little bit easier and help them interact with confidence. And we can do all of this while having relatively competitive prices. We can stay cheaper or the same as all these other customers.
So we believe the market for this is pretty large. Our initial goal would be to reach the triangle around Dayton, Columbus, and Cincinnati. By my estimate, that's about 20 schools, 200,000 students in residence, with not to mention faculty or commuters or many others. So the college campus would be a great starting point because that's really an incubator of society and of trends. And so the idea would be to try to set a trend, and then students would be going home on breaks, and they'd be moving on, and they would stick with them, and it would spread from this triangle here. And then we also believe subscription services are becoming more popular. Here you can see this is consumers, how much they spend on different subscriptions. So the top category is food, like HelloFresh and such. Second category is fashion and apparel. So subscribers are spending $64 a month on clothing, so we believe they'd be willing to spend money on our socks.
We have a number of deployment partners to help us get this on the road. We'd be using Shopify for our initial website design and to help us manage subscription and membership. We'd be using the Zhu Beijing Trading Corporation, our chosen sock manufacturer. They offer really high quality socks with good reviews at relatively low prices. We'd be using USPS for shipping and delivery, distribution. And we have an open source psychometric project, our chosen Enneagram API. This would allow us to interface the Enneagram personality test with our website, which is really neat. Given these constraints, we estimate we could charge as little as $12 a month for this monthly subscription, which is about what all the other that's a minimum of what the other companies sell. You can see here the average breakout for the cost in providing this service to each of our customers per month. We have the different prices there. Shopify and Sock Design are both distributed out amongst an average estimated customer base that we'll explain later. But we would be hiring a designer to design these socks, which would distribute out the prices there, which gives us a total of about $10.50, which means we get a profit of about $1.50 per customer per month.
And so our model for how this production would go over time, we would use sort of a ramp up. There'd be a point where it's really popular, and then we'd expect it to die down like most trends, but there would still be some consistent growth over time. Some people who would last there. So given that customer trend, if we start with $10,000, that $10,000 would go towards marketing, initial first month's payments and costs. That would be our starting revenue. Then we could break even in about 11 months and then have relatively consistent growth around $20,000, $25,000 per year. So you'd have continued profit through this.
We think this is a really great investment opportunity because it's very low risk. We start pretty small, and we can easily liquidate. We also, this particular setup with these manufacturers, we can actually increase our efficiency quite a bit if the trend catches on, and if it doesn't catch on, we just drop it and go, right? But we do think it will catch on very quickly. The costs per customer drop quite a bit as we get more customers distributed amongst more personality types. And this is a cultural market which can grow very large very quickly, as we've mentioned. We do have some examples, things like fidget spinners or yoga pants or HelloFresh. If we can get people to kind of commit to this and build a society around it, it can grow very large, very fast.
We also believe there's lots of potential for future developments. We could do other kinds of socks, such as wool socks in the winter, sports socks. Those could allow us to get into other markets beyond just average consumer, like sports. We could also try to incorporate into mobile apps, like make Spotify playlists for different personalities. We can make trends like Be Real, where you take a picture of your sock, things like that to get out there. We could go with a more subtle one, totally discreet. Everybody's got those rocket ship underpants that keep them going. There's stickers, other merch. We've got holiday specials. I like this idea, where you have an ugly Christmas sweater that's a conglomeration of your year's socks all on your sweater. But ultimately, we think this personalization idea could have applications in other industries. Even if it's not subscription service, you could at least do backpacks or lunchboxes or other sorts of consumer products. So this is totally, we think it's a totally great idea and totally fun, and we think people would love it. So any questions? Thank you very much for listening.
I guess I'll kick it off, guys. First of all, going first is not easy, so I want to say, job well done. You did a great job. Clearly, you prepared and you had a lot of information. First thought that I just wanted to share, I love that you're going after the emotion. My business partner actually he says it on a regular basis, probably daily. He says, products move pieces, like pieces on a chessboard, but movements move mountains. So the individuality and the expression is the movement. It's more than just a sock. It's a movement behind that. So I like that. Differentiation, I can see the differentiation between some of the other brands and the customization. You put some of the competitors. I do like that you're looking at launching regionally. That's when we launch products with Ideal Strategic Partners. What we do is we want to create kind of a microcosm, like a small, controlled geographic area that we can then replicate. Question, why schools?
We believe that they would be the easiest to catch on in a trend sort of product. And then we also believe they'd be the most likely to really enjoy these socks, and then the relational aspect would be strongest amongst student-type people.
Well, I love socks, and I'm not a student.
And of course, it could always grow to other, students grow up, so.
You'd be welcome to join.
Yeah, see, the matching. I'm saying.
What's your Enneagram?
I got comments last year about the socks too. No, but I really love the product. I will say, understanding who your target audience is going to be really important. I could be wrong on this, but I don't believe it's going to be students. It's going to be your highest probability of success. I think with disposable income, professionals and individuals that wear dress socks every day. Not all universities have that type of policy. So understanding who your market is going to be really, really important, and being specific on that. Now, you could always expand that market, right? But knowing initially who your highest probability market is going to be really important. You talked about Shopify, great decision for single product launches. They have the best analytics. You'll be able to see, they have heat maps. You can see where people are on your site. You can see where they're bouncing, what's engaged, what they're engaging with, what they're not. You talked about shipping. Definitely would encourage you to look into 3PL, third-party logistics.
3PL, thank you.
Because that's where they'll handle a lot of your inventory. So when it comes in from port from China, they handle the transport. They'll do quality control. They do all the shipping. If there's returns, they handle all that. So you can work on the business rather than in the business. A lot of people start doing it in their basement or in their garage. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're looking to continue to innovate, it's you want to be really focusing more on the business. Your $8 shipping cost. Can you talk about that? It seems really high.
That's what I looked at for a small set of and that would include packaging, and then also a printed card with you might see it later, of Enneagram with, like, if it's birds, you'll get a bird and then little words describing why we picked that bird for that Enneagram. So it's printing costs and packaging costs. Also, we would need those things shipped to us so we can insert the cards and send it on. So that's my estimate for what that would be.
Got it. Look into what's called a CAGR, a VCRA, Volume Cost Reduction Assessment. So economies of scale, as you order more, as your production goes higher, your costs are going to come down, so you need to understand how much your margins go up. Last thing that I want to say, I had a couple more notes, but I don't want to take all the time, is when it comes to I love that you have the subscription model here, because the valuation for subscription versus single purchases, for a single purchase product-based company, it's about 1.5x on revenue. For a subscription, it's anywhere from 18 to 20 times revenue for SaaS models. So I love that you have that model. Yeah, that's about all I got. I think you guys did a great job.
Thank you very much. That's lots of
Thank you for
helpful
your
information.
suggestions. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to be brief. I don't know how much time we have left, but one thing I want to ask is, what made you guys choose socks as the mode of expression? You could have choose bow ties or shirts or jackets, but why socks?
Well, that's the idea that it first came from. There was a New Year's Eve 2 years ago where we were just sitting around thinking about ideas and like, oh, we love socks. Ooh, we could like add a personalized aspect to socks. So that was our first idea. We thought it was a good idea and would be a good starting place. And then I love the idea of bow ties. We should have done that.
You guys looking snazzy tonight. Yeah.
That would have been really great.
What kind of market research have you guys done as far as like surveying the students at colleges to see if that's what your market wants? Have you guys done any of that?
Yeah, we were going to. We didn't get time to get that after chapel. After chapel is a great place to pull people. But everyone we've talked to has thought it was a great idea, and so lots of them have said they would subscribe to it. And then most of our market research was looking at other subscription services, if those seem to work, and if subscription services are profitable.
Sure. Yeah. So whenever you're doing a pitch or any type of business idea, that's like one of the first things you want to do is always kind of get the temperature of your market to see, is this something they want? Because maybe they want bow ties, man. You know what I mean? So that's one of those things you always want to do. Last thing I would say is that I think the key to this is the data you will get from the Enneagram. When a person's giving you all that personality data, that you can really dive in and target them more specifically, which when you have that, it becomes powerful. You can customize pretty much anything.
I thought about incorporating like Google ad statistics or tracking, then I could even make it even more personalized than just Enneagram.
Absolutely. So I think trying to see different ways that you can leverage that data will be key. But good job, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey guys, really well done, especially being the first out of the chute here. Very well done. I'll double down. I love the subscription model. I think it's a great thing. Multiples will be higher on the exit if you get to that point. The scaling, I'd be real interested in hearing your thoughts on, as you move, what do you see the headwinds might be in the scaling portion? I got a couple other questions. I'll let you take that one on first.
Scaling by how it would grow over time. I don't fully know what it would look like maybe 10 years down the road. I would expect, as I said, sort of a ramp up, and then it would probably catch on, and then it would get to other cities and other regions. So I'd imagine scaling up would look like starting an office with a more full-time designer instead of a part-time, have more of a marketing team, just hire more people to handle all of the shipping. We could do customer support better and stuff like that.
Excellent. Yeah, and have you thought about like social media from a marketing perspective?
Yes, that's where the 10,000 would go at the beginning, is social media marketing, sending free samples first month, stuff like that.
Are you comfortable with your margins? If I'd run my numbers in my head, you're maybe 12% margin on per pair. Is that about right?
I don't understand margins. Sorry.
Margins.
Yes. We put some buffer in that 10%.
Like your profit for each pair of socks that are going out the door.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're pretty comfortable with that, particularly because the socks themselves, there's ways we could get the money back by sending them as free samples in the future to get more profits. So the actual sock cost, we're pretty comfortable with that.
You're here. Got it. Well done, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hey Hey, Christian, I don't know if you knew that, but they're actually a freshman and senior brother duo. Isn't that kind of cool?
Super cool. Some nice brotherly love to start us off. Well, guys, I get it. My socks before were kind of lame, but I was able to work with the Rockwet brothers, and I got some new socks. What do we think of these guys?
Those
Some
are
cool-
pretty sick. Those are pretty sick.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there are members of you out there with a cool product as well. However, you're not up on stage today. However, there is still an opportunity for you guys to work with those products.
And if that sounds like you and you want to get involved in Cedarville entrepreneurship, we have just the person for you. I'm going to invite Annie Alexander to come on stage. Annie is the CU Entrepreneurship Club president. Thank you, Annie.
Hello, everyone. Thank you again so much for coming out tonight. I just want to speak specifically to the Cedarville students in the crowd. You guys should check out our org, Q. Q stands for and represents Cedarville University Entrepreneurship, but a Q is a signal to act. And so if you want to be a part of bigger things on campus, put your brain, your strengths, and your skills together with other peers on campus. I really encourage you to follow us on Instagram and email us at cuentrepreneurship@cedarvilleuniversity.edu, and we would love to be in touch. We meet every week at 7 p.m. and then also have a ton of other wonderful events just to stir up some entrepreneurship community and get to know one another. So thank you guys again so much for coming out, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Thank you, Annie, for giving us that nice description. All right, on to our next contestant. Do we have any hunters or marksmen out there? Yeah, that's what we like to hear. All right, well, this one's for you.
Awesome. Would you guys please welcome to the stage Josiah Theobald.
Hi, everyone. Wow, there's a lot of you. So I want to first get us off by talking about skeet shooting. And what is skeet shooting, you may ask? So skeet shooting is where you have a launcher, and then you have targets such as these that are put into that launcher, and then these are thrown, and then there's another man with a gun standing off to the side of the launcher, and he is trying to hit that out of the air. And so here's an example of that. That is the launcher right there, throwing the skeet, as it's called. And then the guy with the gun is ready to shoot it out of the air. And so this has been the way that it's been for a long time. And there hasn't been much change. I mean, there's been change in colors. Like you have pink and you have green. But there's been no real change in the sport. And that's where my product comes in. And my product is called Glaze. And it's short for glowing clays. I'll have Luke show that to everyone. And so he's in the back there. It's a glowing clay, and so basically you paint the clay white, and then you paint it with a glow-in-the-dark paint as well. And then on the launcher, you will have LEDs that charge it, so to speak, right before it's launched. And then the person can shoot it then at night. And so what this solves is the problem of shooting ranges and individuals only able to be shooting in the daytime when the sun is out. And so this is the way to solve that. And so it solves nighttime boredom. If you're ever with your friends and you have guns and you're in a good location to do this, safely, of course, safely, then you can go out and you can shoot glaze with your buddies. And it solves the restricted market, as there's usually only orange clays on the market, and this isn't even on the market yet. So that's a great aspect of it. And then value proposition, like I said earlier, shooting ranges and individuals will be able to do this at night and not only in the daytime. And then it could take the clay pigeon market by storm because it's not a thing that's on the market right now. So, and another plus is that it's easily scalable. As much demand as we get, we can just paint them and then just send them out to people. And I'll be talking more about that later on who we'll be shipping them to. And so there's multiple revenue streams, like I said. There's the shooting range, and then probably the biggest one will be from the individuals. So I come from a redneck city, so to speak, and so there's a lot of shooting going on, not in a bad way, but like clay pigeons. And so this would be a great way for them to buy my product. All right, so marketing, I would ideally like to be on most social media platforms. One big one that I thought of was YouTube, and big guys in the YouTube like realm and shooting realm, such as Demolition Ranch. He holds a large following on YouTube, and he reviews guns and all things related to guns. And then another one would be Dude Perfect. They've done trick shots of clays in the past, and so that'd be really cool if they could do one with glaze as well. And so I'd like to have this on social media platforms, like I said, Facebook, Instagram, such. And then word of mouth advertising. I want the rednecks to tell their redneck buddies that, hey, you can now shoot clays at night. And so that would probably gain a lot of a following. And then lastly, they would be seen in large stores such as Bass Pro, Cabela's, Walmart. And so if people are walking through the store and they see the clay pigeon aisle, they'll also see glaze right next to it. And so they'll be like, what is this? And then it'll show them that you can now shoot clays at night. All right, and so revenue streams, as I said, the main revenue will probably come from individuals and from shooting ranges. And what I would ideally like is for shooting ranges to be on a subscription type buying, to where they buy a set amount of glaze clay pigeons each month, and they can either change this demand by lowering it or increasing it depending on the amount of people who want to do it. So that would just get me a set amount of revenue each month. And then the individuals, I would ideally like to have them buy off my website that I will be creating, and then other websites such as Amazon and easy to reach websites online. And here we have my costs. So for a box of clays, it's about $10 right now. And what I found without bulk materials is that this is the costs for making the glaze. And so the paint's about $6 to $10 per box, and then the cardboard and branding is about $1 to $3. And so the total would be about $17 to $23 per box. And I would ideally like to sell them for $25 to $30. And this is all going to change as I buy in bulk, because these are for non-bulk items right now. So I would ideally like my profit margins to be higher because of this. And yeah, that's what I have for glaze.
Aside from the obvious safety concerns, this seems like an idea that some of the bigger clay pigeon manufacturers would have already come up with, but it's interesting that they haven't. So I'm curious, are there any regulations against having clay pigeons that are glow in the dark shooting at night? Like, are there regulations against that?
So there are for shooting ranges. The shooting ranges can be open from 7 till 10, but already it gets dark a lot quicker than 10. So like it can be getting dark at 7, but you can still have people coming in. And this is also good for the shooting ranges because they can offer a nighttime fee for you shooting past like a set amount of time, such as 5 o'clock. So they'll pay like $5 extra, and it'll be good for the shooting range as well. So their profits will go up.
Gotcha. So how many shooting ranges have you talked to and pitched this idea to?
So I have not yet begun that process. This is sort of something I came up with in the past few weeks. So it's all just been a run in motion. So I have not been able to talk to any yet.
Yeah, I would think that would be the first thing, because it doesn't sound crazy. I mean, I can see it working, but just there's a lot of liability, a lot of things around it, and make sure there's a market demand for it. But otherwise, great presentation, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you're talking to a judge that was born in Alabama, right? You know,
Yeah.
all I have visions of right now is, you know, somebody in the back of their pickup, here, hold my drink, and,
Yep.
you know, shooting from the pickup. Yeah. so I'm going to double down on Travis's safety comment there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've thought through that. The question I have for you is, do you think it would be better to roll out with individuals, or to go to Travis's comment was to move to the ranges first? Because then the safety profile would look a lot different. It would be much more controlled. There would be more bulk sales if you could get the traction there.
Yeah, so I would probably do shooting ranges first, just to get people like in the door of the idea. And so like they can see the setup that the shooting ranges have, and then later transition to individuals. And safety-wise, I would recommend that you set it up while it's still light out, so you're not shooting anyone accidentally. That would be the worst, so.
Yeah, my fear is you'd be culpable in some regard for motivating it. I love the idea. I mean, it's very innovative, if you will. I think you need to be cautious about, you know, the way you step forward, the way you roll out, and then to also look at some regulations, make sure you're not in kind of complete violation of some, you know, law out there, and we're getting you out of jail at some point. Yes.
Thank you.
Good presentation, though.
Thank you.
A great presentation. I will echo the sentiment. I'm surprised that it doesn't exist. If it doesn't, I would encourage you to do an IP search to make sure that there's nothing out there like it, because I think it's brilliant. You've said in the very beginning, disruptable. Like it's a market or an industry that hasn't changed very much over time. Those are prime. That's where you want to be. I like that you said YouTube. We've launched a product, a personal protection device before, and Facebook and Instagram, Meta, have very strict rules about any type of marketing, even relating to them, even though it's not a weapon, just it's in that classification. YouTube doesn't have that, so I like the YouTube idea. Retail, you had Bass Pro Shops last. That's where it should be. You should direct to consumer first. You're going to be able to get more for your money in terms of value, reaching your target audience and your customer. The ranges, I don't think, are going to want to adopt the concept until they know that the consumer, their consumers and customers like it. The only last thing that I have, one quick question. You said per box. How many are in a box?
Yes, so there's 90 per box.
Oh, that's a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
Your margins need to be a lot higher, and I think that and I know that you're going to bring that down over time. Generally, you can go down about 30% at economies of scale, but you really want to start direct to consumer about 60 to 70% gross margin, because when you get into wholesalers, channel partners, distributors, retailers, they're taking 25, 30, 35 points right off the bat. So while you might sell millions of these, right, if you are making less than a penny per unit, it's not the profitability you're looking for. But I really like the concept a lot. Great presentation.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Josiah.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm not getting in front of that presentation.
Well, it is time for our first prize giveaway of the night. We have some Q t-shirts to give out for you guys. So who wants a free t-shirt?
Raise your hand if you want it to be. I can't throw quite as far. Oh, one more.
We got one more.
All right. Oh, right into the hands.
Good catch. Man, I'm kind of exhausted after that.
Yeah, I feel fine, actually.
All right, well, not everyone ran a marathon this summer.
Whoa, it was just a half. But I know a contestant that doesn't do things halfway.
Yeah? Well, I heard that too. And our next contestant has a new product for marathon runners. Here is Davis Broombaugh.
Aaron Perry, but yes.
Hello, my name is Aaron Perry. I'm the founder of Ultralight Running gear reimagined. Mankind is meant to run. They're meant to feel free. They're meant to run light. Currently, on the running market, everything makes us feel burdened when we're running. However, the things that differentiate us from those other running accessories are we don't create products, we design freedom. So back one, apologies. My promise to you today is I will show you the tools necessary to make running feel freeing again. So this applies for all sorts of runners. You could be a road runner, a trail runner, or any type of runner in between. And I know this works from experience because I've actually used them in my very own races, including several half marathons, ultra marathons, this past summer, a half Ironman, and then running across the Grand Canyon doing a rim to rim. So I know this works from experience and not just from theory. And that's key. This isn't just an idea. This is something that has actually been applied and tested. And that leads me to one of my favorite quotes by L.H. Hardwick that says, "A man with an experience is never at the mercy of a man who has an opinion." Now this slide is for the runners in the room. So at the end of my presentation, I want to be giving you access to a special project I've been working on for around 3 years. So make sure to stay tuned and listen up closely because I promise you it will not be a waste of your time. So as we dive in, I don't expect you to take my word for how good of an opportunity I'm about to share with you is. I want to prove it to you. Let me explain. When I see stuff like this, even this, it bothers me. But the thing is, it doesn't just bother me, it bothers you. There is a market out there for running accessories, but the thing is, that's not the market that can actually, those photos aren't actually what are beneficial. We're trying to create running accessories that are actually beneficial in your running experience. We desire to create freedom in running and not to take away from that. So, with that being said, let's begin. Introducing to you the ultralight running hat, freedom found in running. And I'll pass this down to you judges here. So these are our current, in my opinion, out-of-date running hats. I mean, do you spot a difference? Because the only two things that I spot are different colors and different brands. That's the only two things that differentiates one running hat from the next. In a world that's ever changing, something that is not are running hats. That's where we step in. So this is our current mock-up of our running hat, and that's what's actually being passed down with our judges here. So we do have a prototype. So you've probably noticed something a little bit different on the side of the hat. Let me explain what that is. So we've implemented an easily accessible elastic pocket on either side of the hat to help store running essentials. So that whole panel on both sides allows you to store your key fob, your running gel or your running goo, or your house key, things along those lines. That opening there is just where you slide in and out those accessories. And then that just extra piece of fabric just helps secure and make sure everything stays tight, but also inside the pocket. I stated earlier that in a world that's ever changing, something that is not are running hats. But the thing is, just because something hasn't changed doesn't mean it's broken. I mean, you've always heard the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, or why fix it? But the thing is, we believe that running hats are broken. So this is why different is better. Like I've stated, we have a practical storage solution on both sides of the hat that can store your gels, your key fobs, your house key. Additionally, it's convenient storage. The majority of runners run with hats. So it's already there on your head and a part of your running kit. So it's not adding something really that new. It's something that you already use, but actually has more of a practical aspect to it. And then additionally, it helps you run free. You no longer have phones attached to your arms or water bottles attached to your hands or a running belt around your waist. But why exactly buy from us? We are a small company trying to compete in a relatively large space. Ultramarathons are not that small, but running is pretty big. The thing that differentiates us is our hat. There's nothing on the market like it. We currently have intellectual property rights on it, and we're also working on a partial utility patent on the hat as well. So that's the main thing that differentiates us. But additionally, we do offer free domestic shipping, which isn't that different, but we do offer free returns no matter the condition of the hat. So if you aren't happy, we're not happy. So if you decide to make a return with us, we will give you a free shipping label, and then no matter the condition, whether it's absolutely destroyed or completely pristine, we'll take it. Additionally, we stand behind our product and what our product represents. And for that reason, we offer a lifetime warranty on all our products. Like I've stated multiple times, we care about our customers. And one of the ways we do that is we listen to our customers. As a small company, we're actually able to listen to the input that runners and people who purchase our items want in their product. We're here to benefit you. And so we'd love to listen to different input and different things to help our running hat grow to something that's truly beneficial. Additionally, like I've stated, we prioritize our customers, and that's really been played out through those first 3 points there. And lastly, as I stated, we desire to create true change in the running community. So we eliminate all the risk so that our customers don't have to take any. Let me say that one more time. We eliminate all the risk so that our customers don't have to take any. So how far along on the process are we making this a reality? Logistics. So this is what we've completed so far. We have our domain names purchased or a registered LLC. We've done product design, drawn up prototypes, manufacturers have been chosen, samples been made, samples critiqued, market tested, website design, the logos have been designed, intellectual property rights are taken care of, and bank accounts as well. What we're currently in the process of doing, we do have social media, but we'd like to make that more professional and really kind of implicate what our ethos is for our business. So that we're trying to work on that. Additionally, packaging design and making that whole process an actual experience instead of just something that holds the hat. We're working with Amazon for Amazon fulfillment. We're doing market testing for different websites, see which ones have higher conversion rates, doing product photographs for our Instagram as well as our website. And then lastly, the trademark, seeing if that's something we need to implement or do something like that later down the line. So this is our current vision, the different phases. So we're currently in phase 1. The business essentials, so kind of what I listed there first, trying to build a foundation to build upon. We'd like to do our product launch for our hat in mid-November. And then the last point there is build enough capital to invest in phase 2. And now let me explain that a little bit more. I wanted to create a company and not just a product. So my first product that I wanted to create was a running headlamp for ultramarathon runners. There's currently nothing on the market that actually is sufficient. You either have to carry multiple headlamps or multiple batteries. And so a while back I started to design through CAD, which is a 3D rendering software, and then doing 3D printing to design a new headlamp. However, I was quoted by a manufacturer, a US-based manufacturer, around $20,000. And I'll be honest with you, I don't have $20,000. So that's what I mean when I say we'd like to build enough capital to invest in phase 2. So we'd eventually do the product launch for the headlamp, and then we continue the running lineup. And then lastly, phase 3. We'd like to branch off from ultralight running. And when I say branch off, I don't mean sell or kind of put it to the side. We'd like to create ultralight cycling, ultralight swimming, ultralight triathlon, things along those lines. So the special project. Don't worry, I didn't forget about it. Like I've stated multiple times, our goal is to bring freedom and value into the running community. And for that reason, before everybody got here, I launched our website. So our hat is currently up for pre-order. Like I stated, we do not have it in inventory, but mid-November we'd like to launch that hat. But I told you that it would be worth it. And for that reason, the people who are here in this room, as well as the live stream, will get 20% off their entire order just by using code Cedarville20 at checkout. And there is our website. Additionally, if you'd like to learn more about our business and what our brand is about, our Instagram, there is at the bottom. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Great job. I love that you developed it out of personal experience. You know, nobody knows a problem better than someone who's experienced it. Phone's not going to fit in there in its current model. That's the one thing that, and I don't know that it would be possible to make that work, frankly, because the shape of a phone and the shape of a head don't seem to just work out well together. You talked about IP. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, for sure. So before I came to Cedarville, I was talking to a patent lawyer friend of mine, and he was telling me about the different patenting processes. And so I was originally going to do, I'm currently in the patent searching process, but I do a partial utility patent just given the financial restrictions there. And so I came here, and I started to talk to Kary Oberbrunner down there at the bottom, and he was saying that he has a company called Easy IP. So I was estimating 20 to 30 grand for a patent, and he said it's $100, and it's free for use given you're a college student. So I already have the intellectual property rights for the hat, and then I'm also working on the headlamp as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, with your return policy, I love, the customer-centric, Jeff Bezos, he's notorious in all of his interviews. He always leaves in the board meetings one empty seat in the room, and he leaves that empty seat to represent the customer. So I love that you have a customer-centric policy. your margins are going to have to be very high with that type of policy, with a lifetime warranty, and people can return it because everyone wants something for nothing, and then they end up, people will take advantage of it. So as honorable as it is from a business perspective, it will cause challenges. And then just Amazon, you don't want to be on Amazon.
Okay,
but we do a lot of consumer products, and it's great to be a consumer on Amazon. I buy stuff all the time. Selling on Amazon, their fulfillment fees, their return policies, and the way that they treat the vendors is not the same way they treat their customers. Last thing I'll say is I love that you have an MVP. You're looking at ways that you're going to evolve. It's important because you'll get market elasticity, you'll get some broad distribution, you'll build a customer base that trusts you, trusts your brand, and then you'll be able to elevate from there. One of the biggest mistakes that a lot of entrepreneurs make is they start with a Rolls Royce, and it's hard to go from Rolls Royce to a Honda Civic, right? You'll get a lot more buy-in from your customers at a lower price point, build your brand, and then be able to elevate from there. So tremendous job.
That's just to add to that, we have 80% profit margins, including the hat and the packaging, 90% without the packaging. So there are the high profit margins there.
All right, good job.
Good job, man. That was very good. What's your background? Like, why? Like, tell us more about yourself. Are you a runner? Or are you an athlete of some sort? Or?
Yeah, so I've done soccer I don't play here, but I've done it for over a decade. And I hated running during soccer. It was a punishment. But then I decided to go run, and I wanted to do what was it, the first one? It was a marathon. I was like, this sounds impossible to me. I hate running. Why do this? And so it was my junior year, I woke up at 4:30 every single day before school to go run. And so I just had such a huge passion for that. And this past summer was a half Ironman, and I just wanted to cross-train and experience that. So I'm really all over the place with that type of stuff, but like running is my passion. That's what I love.
So this idea kind of stems from the problems you were already having just when you were running. Where are you going to put your stuff, like that type of thing, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you mentioned you did market tests and research. Give me some of the feedback that the market gave you when you tested out the product.
For sure. So we kind of presented the issue to them first. So it was more of, here are the products that you currently run with. Do you like them? And they're like, no. And I said, well, what about this? And then presented the item to them. And so they said that they already run with hats. I mean, I know some people don't, I get that. And our product's just not for them. That's understandable. But a lot of people do. A lot of runners do. And so it's not adding a new accessory. It's adding to something that already exists in somebody's in like a running kit. And so we're trying to emphasize running free and running light. So you have nothing in your hands, you have nothing strapped to your body, and so you're able to actually feel that freedom associated with running.
So do you have a metric, not really a metric, but a measure of how many miles have been run in these hats? Like, 1,000 miles of keys have been running in this hat. Like, did you get that kind of research?
I got you. Unfortunately not. No.
Okay. Last question is, what's the price on this retail?
Yeah, so it really does depend based off the order quantity. We're shooting for around $500 for our first order, and that's going to give us around $3.15. And that's going to, with shipping incorporated, it's going to be around $3.50. So it's pretty low, which is, like you said, the high margins.
So were you planning on charging how much retail?
$30, because that's the average price, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great job.
You're a great presentation. Boy, you can feel the passion about what you've got for what you're selling. That's for sure. I'd be curious. So, hats and headlamps. That's an interesting combination. Did you look at any other? What was the feedback from the trial runs that you had in terms of other problem areas in running? In other words, is there a phase 3 or any of that in the future? For sure. So, the first two products are going to be the running hat and the headlamp. The headlamp was really kind of like my passion because I had nothing, which sounds very odd, I get that. But that's just what I wanted to design. And so there's a relatively huge market because all ultramarathon runners have to have a headlamp. It's part of their running kit. And so there's nothing on the market like that. And like our phase 3 was kind of branching off, creating the running, ultralight running, and then from there doing the cycling, the swimming, and the triathlon. And there is logic behind those 3 as well. Is the headlamp going to be integrated with the hat design? Or is it going to be separate?
It's going to be a both and. So I can't go super into detail given like the patenting and all that sorts because there's nothing on the market like it. It's a completely new way to actually attach a headlamp and everything associated with that. So our hat will be capable to be able to do that, but you don't have to have the hat to use our headlamp.
Got it. I missed that part in the original presentation. And then differentiation in the marketplace. So there's nothing like this hat, and then obviously there's nothing like the headlamp. And I'm going to go back to my first question, which was, do you have anything else in your pipeline? Or are you interested in working with channel partners, those types of go-to-market tactics?
For sure. So do you mean more about product-based, like things down the line for in the okay? So currently, no. I've been talking to my mentor, and we've really been trying to figure out the marketing, and the marketing's running light, running free. And so we want to critique the things that are already out there to actually make them practical and something that allows you to run light. And so that's really kind of our goal here for products later down the line.
Got it. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron Perry. Hey, Christian, I heard that you ran a triathlon this summer.
I did, but I definitely did not have a cool hat like that, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, all this talk about running has me kind of tired, and I bet you guys need a time to stretch your legs and take a break. So take a 5-minute break, stretch your legs, go to the bathroom. And there's also concessions and a place to buy t-shirts out there if you'd like to support Q. Thank you.
Hey everybody, it's Dr. Kary Oberbrunner. Hope you're doing well. Hey, listen, I'm in the front row, and this place is alive, man. This is alive. So we have a lot of entrepreneurs here, a lot of people watching, and hey, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So go ahead. I'm hearing that a lot of people like Aaron and Josh. I know. Listen, go ahead, type in where you're from, everybody. We have alumni. By the way, I met Josh today. Josh is an alum, and he's an entrepreneur, and so he's crushing it in his companies. Sounds like we have a bunch of parents here. Sounds like we have just some really cool people. So we're going to be giving away some prizes. I want to show you these prizes, okay? So we have this incredible umbrella. It's Cedarville branded, and I have Tanisha, who's basically randomly picking the prize winners. So in order to win a prize, you need to complete the form. And
another reminder is we're gonna
they're making an announcement. Hang on one second.
QR code, so you can scan here to win a bundle that we have. Got some different things, also the iPad and the AirPods, which I'm sure many of you here are for that.
Awesome.
Scan that code.
Okay, so they have the branded umbrella, and then we have the grad school t-shirt. I love it. Every decision matters. By the way, someone just handed me the $1,000 check. How cool is that? So don't forget, somebody's gonna win that. Oh, I've been holding things up. So we are giving away the iPad as well. Look at that, legit iPad. We're giving away the AirPods. Now, not all these prizes are going to be given to the online crowd. Some are. But here's what you need to do. Are you getting background photos too? I love it. I love it. So we got our videographer here, by the way. Will is a student, and Will's videographing the whole thing. Folks, there's a lot of student leaders here, a lot of people helping out. You know, I want to show them the lightning, what do you call it? It's in there. This is pretty slick too. What is it? What does this even do? So it's Cedarville branded, and it's a special charger. So we have all kinds of prizes, and we're giving these things away. What about that tumbler? That was pretty hot. Yes. By the way, this is Madeline. Yeah.
Hello.
So Madeline, oh my gosh, I want one of these. Wow.
I want one of those too.
Now, what do you call this Stinger?
Yes.
So this guy's Stinger.
Sting 'em.
How long have we? Is that wait? What do you do?
Sting 'em.
I'm brand new, so you just do that.
You sting
So
'em.
like it's a bee. Okay, sting him. All right.
Yellow jacket. Yeah.
So this is legit, and I love this. How long have you had the Stinger mascot? Has this been like? I'm wondering, is Josh and some of these alum people? Was it around that long?
I think the Yellow Jacket's been around since
the
Cedarville's
beginning?
been founded. But
Okay.
they've made some like alterations with like
It's-
what he looks like.
It's
and
pretty
stuff.
aggressive now. This is a pretty aggressive jacket.
Yeah.
It's not like a chill one. Okay. Hey, you got some friends, Katie. You know? Do you know Katie?
I think.
I think
Yes,
so.
I think this is
Okay.
Annie's friend.
Ah, okay. So Penny just filled the stinger. It was a sandwich.
Nice.
Ah, okay. I love it. So this is
Yeah.
like a walk down memory lane. What else do
Have
we
we
have?
showed them the shirts yet?
No. Oh my gosh, that is such a good shirt.
This is our.
The Q. Q stands for Cedarville University Entrepreneurship. And show them the back. This is so fun. Entrepreneurship is a mindset, not a minor. So why do we have that? Why do we have that? Like, what does that mean?
Because entrepreneurship used to only be a minor at Cedarville because they just encourage you to get a major of something else.
But we think
But we think that you can't contain entrepreneurship to any type of minor or major. We think it's a mindset.
yes, and everybody needs it.
Yes.
Even the nurses,
Yes.
the music people.
We've got nurses, we've got cybersecurity, we've got engineers,
Yeah.
all at Q. Just thinking up great ideas every Wednesday at 7.
I love it. So I saw this.
You
What's
want
the only thing
you
we're
want the
missing?
umbrella?
I saw the umbrella. Maybe we saw it all. I did not show the mug. Oh my gosh. So I want all these things. I really do. Oh, the hydro flask. All right, check this out, folks. Look at that. This is legit. The hydro flask.
Oh, did you do this?
I did not do that. Oh my gosh. Should I put this on my bald head?
Yeah.
All right. So does that look pretty lame? That looks pretty lame when you're bald, but if you're not bald, it looks good on you. I'm sure it'll look better on you or the guys in the back.
Make them try it
All right.
on.
In fact, can we get the crowd to yell a little bit? Should we?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody? Yeah. Come on. Yes. All right. So we got a good group here. I think we're probably a minute or two. Mariah, Christian, do you guys want to talk to the crowd for a second here? Come on.
Introduce them.
Talk to them for a second. I'm just going to tell. How much time do we have? I think.
First off, I just want to say hello
I think-
to my family,
Hi,
everyone
guys.
watching up in Massachusetts and New York, the whole Epic family. How we
Nice,
doing?
the whole Epic family.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say hi to my family too. If you're still watching,
They should be.
all right. I think we gotta go back up soon.
We're about to go back up, so we're gonna
we
hand
need
it
to
back over
be back to Kary.
in just a minute. Here's Kary.
Yeah, thanks you guys for coming.
All right, Kary.
Here you go, Kary. Back
I
to
think
you.
we're ready.
So we're gonna flash the lights in just a minute.
If you need to tell the judges anything, now's your chance.
You ready?
I don't know. I told them they're doing good. All right, folks, we're ready for the second segment. Get ready. We're going to pick the winner. It's going to be amazing. And again, we have the iPad, the AirPods. We have all the other prizes. Somebody likes Mariah. Somebody was cheering for Sam. Folks, this next group, you only have three more, and then we're going to give away the big check. So, by the way, I just started here as a professor. It is a deep honor to see all that God is doing at Cedarville and with these students. I mean, I'm sitting here in the front row. They're running the whole thing. These students are passionate. If you are considering sending a student to Cedarville, I highly, highly recommend. I'm still an entrepreneur of 2 companies. And the reason why is because I love to stay in the game. And so, but I wanted to pour back in the next generation. And it's a deep, deep honor. So these students are fired up. Maria, what's up? Say hi to the crowd. All right. So we have lots of students here. And we're going to get started here in just a minute. So how are we doing, everybody? We're going to get started. Are we rolling? Yeah. All right. I feel like we need some noise. My guy Sam is going to crush it. All right. Hey, Sam's up soon. Ultralight. A lot of people liked ultralight. I thought the socks people were amazing. Who would do those glow-in-the-dark skeet shooting things? Would anybody? Would anybody dare do that? Is that illegal? I don't know. But it was a good product. Alessandro, one of our authors. I love it. All right, folks, here we go. We're going.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Hope you're all rested. Judges, how are we doing so far tonight? Doing good?
Doing great. Great contestants so far. Great products.
Awesome. What about you, Travis? I hear you're thirsty.
Yeah, I'm worn out already, man. I had to get a drink, but
Well, we got a lot more contestants for you, so hopefully you're not too worn out.
Lots of innovation. I'm excited. Really good ideas out of these folks.
Yeah, thank you, Ed. And let's not prolong this any further. Let's hear about this next product.
Awesome. Well, joining us, we have a member of your very own men's basketball team,
Timothy Davis, and let's not forget about his lovely partner, Louisa Schmidt-Krauer. And they are going to bring an idea to us that could revolutionize life for women after surgery.
So please welcome to the stage Timothy and Louisa.
Well, hello everybody. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming, judges. Introductions, ladies first.
My name is Louisa Schmidt-Krauer. I'm from Germany and a sophomore.
I am Timothy Davis, on the basketball team, as Christian said, and I study finance here. I'm a junior. Yeah. So let's get right into the pitch. Oh, wait, hold on. To begin, I'd like for you all to think of the last sleepless night you had. Now, maybe you were sick that night, or maybe you just had a lot on your mind. It could also be that you just couldn't quite find that comfortable position to lay in. Whatever it was, think of the feelings associated with that night. Frustration, possibly. Discomfort, anger. Maybe you got anxious and started counting the hours you had left over to sleep. Kind of like what I was doing yesterday. While you're thinking of this dreadful night, though, I want you guys to know that there are thousands of women out there who will be experiencing a night like that one tonight. Now, to give you a more personal example of this, I'll be using this beautiful lady right here. She goes by the name of Claudia Davis. She's also known as my mom. Now, 6 years ago, my mom underwent a medically necessary breast surgery, which was followed up by the doctor telling her that for the next 8 to 12 weeks, she was to exclusively sleep on her back. Now, my mom prefers to sleep on her side and stomach, so she was facing a lot of those sleepless nights that I just talked about. But as they say, pain is the catalyst of change. And the change that was brought about through my mom's suffering came by the invention of our Lenora breast pillow.
So the Lenora breast pillow allows you to sleep comfortably on your side and stomach after breast surgery, just as the two icons above demonstrate. It is the world's first pillow of its kind, and we currently have the US patent approved for it and the European patent pending. It is a high-quality product made in Germany, just like the two entrepreneurs you see standing in front of you. The high-quality foam creates an ergonomic experience, and if you care to actually take our prototype, in the back there's a zipper, and if you open it, you see the two different layers of foam. Exactly. The bottom layer creates the height and stability of the pillow, and then the top layer is our memory foam, and this will adjust perfectly to your body when you use it. And so all of this together creates the optimal comfortability you need to get a good night of sleep.
All right, so to get into some functional details about the pillow, our pillow actually comes in two different types. Now, we have the classic breast pillow, which is the one you see in front of you right here on the screens. This is more meant for like long-term, everyday use. And then we also have, well, actually, this comes in 6 different sizes. and they're based on your underbust circumference, which is underneath your breast, and so it's like the width of the pillow that determines the sizes. Our classic pillow currently sells at $150 to $155. And then we also have our more medical device, which is the Lenora Basic Breast Pillow. This also sells in 6 different sizes from $180 to $190.
Yeah, so our basic pillow comes with an adjusted height, which will prevent the scar tissue from touching the bed, especially in those couple of days after surgery. And then it also comes with an adjusted length to compensate for that height and to keep your spine in a neutral position. And then both our classic and our basic come with an indentation for the neck at the top of the pillow and a recess to place your breast in, and this is actually one of our patented qualities. And then the classic and the basic both also have the indentation to place one's solar plexus, and this helps breathe. So with our classic pillow, it's just that small indentation at the bottom, and in the basic, this actually runs all the way up to the indentation, and this as well belongs to our patent.
Okay, so that was a lot of information. To give you a little overview of how we use the 2 pillows, the process after a breast surgery would be you give the scar tissue about 4 days to heal up a little bit, and then you would use the basic breast pillow. You'd use that for the next 8 to 12 weeks, and then switch over into using the classic breast pillow, which is meant for long-term use. Now, in this sense, or this would be the process that you would go through in, after a surgery, and in this sense, the classic would act as a medical device, but our classic can also be used outside of the medical area as well, which is why it comes in 3 different pillowcases.
So like we just said, we have different pillowcases. The first one is the natural one, which you see in front of you. It is made out of microtensils and polyester, and that just gives it a really soft feel and makes it optimal for home use. But as we said, we have a different coverage. The others are Icy Ocean and Black, and they're made out of polyester and polyurethane. And this is the same material that is used for massage tables and a physical therapy office or chiropractor. So this makes it really easy to clean and disinfect, and it also makes it fungi repellent and antibacterial.
So yeah, you can see the cleaning process right here is done pretty quickly. You just spray it, wipe it down, and then it's ready for the next customer, which makes it optimal to use in public places such as tattoo studios, wellness areas, spas, resorts, beauty salons, and then yoga studios as well. Or just while doing yoga at home, you can see the pillow in use right here while she's stretching. And then one of our main areas in the public market we're trying to get into would be physical therapy and chiropractors, where you can see in the illustration she's using the pillow to get ready for back massage or any type of treatment on the backside of your body. So yeah, it'd be optimal for that.
And like Timmy just mentioned, one of the areas we would like to go into is the chiropractor and physical therapy. And in this area, our strongest competitor is this massage table you see here. It has that recess to place your breast in, however, it is only one size. You can adjust it to your needs. And it's also just, I can imagine, quite inconvenient for physical therapists and chiropractors to buy a whole new table for their clientele. And then we also have competitors in the wellness and beauty area, and those are these 2 pillows. However, they just don't offer the same comfortability, flexibility, and quality that our pillows offer.
So yeah, the competition being in these markets shows that there is a need on these markets for our pillow, or for that relief that you get during a massage. And the better solution that we offer to this problem would be solved by our classic duo set. This comes with 2 classic breast pillows, 1 medium and 1 large, which would encompass most of our clients. Around 95% of our orders have been mediums and large classic pillows. And we sell this set at $249, which would cut the price of the massage table in half.
So, one pillow, one donation, or how we like to say in German, ein Kissen, eine Spende, is a program that we've implemented so that with every pillow that we sell, we donate to the Breast Cancer Awareness Association.
Yeah, so let's help these women get rid of their sleepless nights and introduce them to the Lenora breast pillow.
Thank you very much.
I've got a lot, but not enough time. So I'm going to try to prioritize. Great job, first of all, and I commend you on coming up with a solution. You saw your mom struggling with something and you came up with a solution. That's the heart of entrepreneurship, and so well done. Your patents, utility or design?
Utility.
Okay. Both?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Where are you planning to have it manufactured?
In Germany. We're currently manufacturing in Germany. So, yeah, it's called Kabelwerk.
Have you shopped other areas besides Germany?
We've tried. We've tried manufacturing in various areas, Macedonia, China, and all those were like not the quality that we were aiming for in the pillow. So.
Okay. Did you say 6 different pillows total? Did I hear that right?
6 different sizes, 2 types. They each come in 6 different sizes determined on your under bust circumference.
Gotcha.
So underneath.
A lot of SKUs, and the sizes make sense, but you might run into an inventory nightmare because you might have people order a lot of one size versus another, so that can be a big challenge. Medical device route, 100% pursue that, 100%. This would be a class 1 medical device, which means that the only prerequisite is that it's manufactured in an FDA-approved facility. So there's not any testing that's needed, and if you have it as a medical device, then you're going to be able to get insurance to cover at least a large portion, maybe all of it, which is fantastic. I love that you have a movement behind it also, donating pillows. It's more than just a product, it's a movement. People love that. Yeah, and then when you do get the medical device, then you're going to want to reach out to GPOs, which are group purchasing organizations. So they work with a lot of hospitals, they work with a lot of doctors and chiropractors, and so if you can get in with those networks, I think you'll have a lot of success. I love it. I'll minimize the SKUs. The last thing I'll say, I know I'm short on time here. With any new product or product-based company, there's 2 barriers you cannot avoid, right? One of them is you're a new company, so people are going to say, can I trust this company? Are they a real company? Am I going to get scammed or get ripped off, right? You can overcome that, but it's something you're going to need to overcome. The second is this product worth what I'm going to spend on it, right? And that's something you can also overcome. You don't want to add more barriers. So when you put people in a position where they have to start making different choices, colors, a lot of people are indecisive, you know? My wife and I, what do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want for dinner? What do you want for dinner? So then we don't ever eat dinner until about 10 o'clock at night. So my point is that the reducing the decision making that they have to make to buy the product, I think would be beneficial. But great job. Love the slides, love the presentation, and love the movement.
Thank you.
Yeah, I second those sentiments. Just a great job as a son. Coming up with a solution for your mom, and that's powerful. Let me ask you this, though. I want to hear your response to something he asked, or you mentioned about registering as a medical device. Have you guys approached any hospitals or medical device companies? Tell me about that.
So we currently have a clinical study running on the pillow, so that'll probably finish by the end of this year. And then we actually have the medical device registration in Germany and Europe. So now we have to get the one for here, which is kind of where we would invest the money that we get from this. So that would go towards that medical device registration and get the FDA approved and stuff like that.
Gotcha. That's great. So how many have you sold?
So we haven't even, that's like the first breast pillow in America. And we've sold just 70 in Germany, but that's by them finding us. We haven't reached out to anybody. We haven't done any marketing. The only thing we have done is to test it on the market. So just to get it out, we've gotten out about 100 pillows just to test them at chiropractors, physical therapies, and then hospital like suppliers and stuff like that.
What kind of feedback did you get from those people that have them?
It's been great. Like it's been pretty much 100% positive feedback. Everybody who has used the pillow has loved it and actually made an effort, like many made an effort to reach out to us and say that they really
So
like
mom
it.
likes it.
Say what?
Mom likes it?
Yeah.
Well, you did your job right there, man. No matter how many you sold, that's it. Well, you know what? I mean, guys, I mean, this is a pretty unique, pretty cool product you have here, and it covers a important need. So I wish you all the best. I mean, this is awesome. So great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful presentation. I love the personal approach. So, you know, combining it with a personal story was just, it hit the mark. We've already been through the medical device certification, so that's where I was going. Since you've been through it out in Europe, my guess is it'll probably move pretty quickly. I would maybe just make one recommendation, final thought, is I would take the feedback that you've got in Europe, right? Yeah, I know it's a small sample size, but play on that in your presentation as you move forward. You should, you know, trumpet success. Don't overdo it, but you've got a great product. You've got a great concept. Make it easy on the customer to move through a change. You may want to just walk them through some kind of a questionnaire to get to the right pillow, rather than presenting them the options and then, you know, help them make a decision in your presentation, in your marketing material. Yeah, but I would definitely, in your pitch, pull in your feedback from Europe, like Travis was talking about. Excellent job, though. Really well done.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Timothy and Louisa. That was really touching, and I really hope you succeed in that. Anyway, we're going to have QR codes come up back here while we're talking, and hopefully you guys can scan those and get ready to win a prize.
But in the meantime, ladies out there, how many of you all like receiving flowers?
Yeah? I know I do, but it seems like they're always dying really fast.
Well, Mariah, there might be a solution for that.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, our next contestant is David Broombaugh, and he has a new take on keeping flowers alive longer. Welcome to the stage.
So I'm the real Davis Brumbach. Hello, everybody. I'm Davis Brumbach, like I just said. I'm a freshman here at CU, and I'm studying global business. I'm going to tell you a story today. Last Valentine's Day, I bought my mother a very expensive and original gift. I bought her a bouquet of flowers. Now, I don't know about you gentlemen, but when I buy my mother a bouquet, an expensive bouquet, this is meant to be an eternal declaration of my love. So when I see her, for the next week, you know, putting in the effort to keep these flowers looking fresh, trimming the stems, putting in fresh water every single day, putting in plant food, only for them to wither away and die by the end of the week, I realized something. I hadn't given my mother an expensive gift. I had given her an expensive chore. Now, I don't want flowers to become a chore for my mother, or for your mother, or for your wife, or for anyone, which is why for the past year, I've been developing Vase. Vase is a new type of vase which uses temperature control technology and built-in fungicides to keep your flowers looking fresh for twice as long with no extra effort. What this means for you practically is that all your bouquets have just doubled in value. It also means that you can say goodbye to old school, traditional, outdated vases and say hello to Vase, which was built to fight wilt. Let me introduce you to the team. Handsome guy on the left, that's me. In the middle, Nathaniel Marr, and on the right, Wyatt Hume. We all grew up in Wheaton, Illinois. I'm the complainer in the group. That's my role. I was the first one to identify this problem, the problem being that given how expensive these flowers are, it's ridiculous how much effort we're putting in towards making them look fresh, considering that science tells us that by the end of the week, they're going to look terrible just because they're not in the flower shop environment. If they're in a vase, they're getting fungus, they're gonna look like trash. So the question is, how do we get these flowers back into the flower shop environment? That's where these two come in. The engineers. So if I am Vase's front man, and if tonight goes well, it's fundraiser, then these two are the engineers. They're both studying at University of Illinois. I think of it in terms of Seinfeld. If I'm Kramer, like the fan favorite, that's Jerry, or Jerry on the right, and then George in the middle. There really is no show without George or Jerry, and to be honest, they actually know what they're doing. So they're very important to this project. So how did they get flowers back into the flower shop environment? Two-step process. First, Peltier modules. This is a refrigeration component. Combine that with a natural fungicide, which is copper, which lines the vase, and you've created a vase which automatically kills fungus and keeps the water within it at a stable 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which doesn't sound that cold, but it actually is quite cold. What this means for you practically is that your flowers are going to look fresh for 2 weeks instead of just 1, and you have just doubled your bouquet's value. To illustrate this point, this is a blown up image of one of our early MVP prototypes, the results from that. On top is a flower that was kept in a vase fungicidal environment for 1 week. On bottom, there is a flower that was just kept in a normal vase for a week. You can clearly see the difference. On top, there's no fungus. On bottom, there is. I think the results speak for themselves. But if they haven't, let me tell you, this is science and it's observable. The question is, how do we market this science? That's a really good question. I got to think about it. Okay. First, vase is for everyone. It's for domestic use. It's for my mom in particular. But it's also for all of these early adopters. So we have the 70-plus group, 65-plus group, particularly 65-plus women. They love to receive bouquets from their husbands, children, and grandchildren, but they don't always have the energy to take care of them the way that they should. So this is a great gift idea for them. I think of Facebook as a way to reach this group. Maybe even nursing homes. Then I look at young businesswomen who receive as corporate gifts frequently bouquets that are given at Valentine's Day and Easter. They don't have the tools or time within the office to take care of these flowers the way that they should, even though they want to spruce up their desk with them. So this scratches that itch for them. Finally, I called up all the local flower shops in my area, and I asked them, who are you selling your flowers to? They said, this is a business-to-business operation. We have a list of hotels and restaurants that we sell one arrangement of flowers to every week because they like to keep their lobbies looking nice. They like to keep their tables looking nice. Imagine if I could go to every single one of those hotels and restaurants and tell them, hey, instead of ordering one arrangement of flowers every week, how about every other week? Let's cut your flower budget in half. I think they'd be very interested in that because it would save them a lot of money. But that's only if vase is cheap. So, how much does it cost? What's the price tag on vase? Well, 1 unit of vase is a cost of goods sold of about $28, and we're using a cost plus strategy with an 80% markup, 80% profit margin for the total cost of $50. Now, why is 50 the magic number? Here in the United States, if you are buying a bouquet from anywhere but your local grocery store, aka you actually love your mom like me, then it's going to cost about $50. Now imagine for me, if you will, you're walking out of a flower shop, vase under one arm, your bouquet for your lovely wife on the other arm, and you look down at the receipt. Well, what's this? The vase I bought is actually more expensive than the expensive flowers I just bought for my wife. That does not leave the customer feeling satisfied. So at launch, it's very important that this is priced at $50 to keep that level of equivalency there. It's also important to remember that this is not just a one and done deal. This is an investment for every subsequent bouquet you buy. It's actually doubling its value. So let's talk about potential exit strategies. I want to do what these products did. Now, what do they have in common other than we know them all? First, they all had an inventor. This inventor created a product, right? And this product spawned a business. Now, this was a business that nobody ever heard of, and then they obtained proof of concept, and then they were acquired, this product and its business, by a larger manufacturing company like 3M, Nestle, P&G, Rival. This is what made those products what they are today. This is how you know about them. This is what we at Vase want to do. This is partially because we can't manufacture and market at scale the way that we want Vase to, the way that would cut our cost of goods sold maybe in half, probably 30%. But It's also because we have an entrepreneurial spirit. It's not our desire to necessarily be the ones managing Vase. It's our desire to be its creator and then move on to the next great idea. So, how do we do that? First, we got to acquire intellectual property, get a utility patent. Utility patents aren't cheap because of the legal fees. So, that's one of the reasons why we're here today. But once we have that, it's our goal to obtain proof of concept, and then sell either the intellectual property or license with one of these 3 vase manufacturers and distributors, because they have the ability to market and manufacture at scale, which is what Vase needs to change the world, which I do believe it will. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Vase, which was built to fight wilt. Invest in your flowers and come chill with us sometime. Thank you.
You're very charismatic. I like you. You've got a lot of personality. Great job.
Thanks, Mr. Moffitt.
Quick question. The cost, so I'm concerned that you're not accurately understanding your COGS. $27 and you have your cost. Where would that be manufactured?
Well, this is assuming that we are manufacturing it ourselves. So the 2 brilliant engineers I work with, this is like we're working out of our garage. The goal is to outsource as soon as possible, but we're inspired by people that work out of their garage, and that's how it has been. They're experts in 3D printing, these guys I work with, so we 3D print some of the components that we're going to be using.
With copper?
So here's the copper part. Maybe I didn't accurately explain this. It's not straight up out of the ground copper.
Right.
It's copper sheeting. So it's actually very inexpensive and very thin and partially synthetic. So it's not going to add to the cost, and it also fits into this very well. You can just cut it with a pair of scissors.
I like the ROI. I mean, the ROI is it's definitely there. One other just side note, you had a $50 price point. Lori Grenier, I was talking to Travis about this earlier. So Lori Grenier talks about it all the time in psychology. So $49.99 and $50 are not a penny away. You actually, when you go from $49.99 to $50, you lose 50% of your market. And when you go from $99.99 to $100, you lose another 50%. There's just psychology there, just giving you a tip that might help you along the journey. So you're not including any labor, there's no shipping, that's just basically you guys making it. It's early, it's a concept, and I get that. I think you need to work through some of your numbers a little bit. I think human capital. Last thing I'll say is this, engineers, because we work with my company has great engineers. We're very blessed in that regard. A lot of engineers don't take costing into account. Their way of kind of flexing the intellectual muscle is to sometimes overcomplicate something that could be simpler. And I'm not saying that's what was done here, but what I'm saying is that if you really can be that leader, since they're the engineers, and be from the business person that understands where you need to be from a price perspective, do the surveys, do the focus groups, figure out what the market's willing to pay, reverse engineer your price point. If you get your numbers right, I think you've got a great product, a great solution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moffitt. You just told them yourselves. I'm sure they're watching.
Excellent job, man. I like the Seinfeld reference too, by the way.
Thanks a lot.
That was good. So how many prototypes? How much market data have you gotten so far?
Right. So we have a prototype, and unfortunately, I couldn't have it here with me. Partially because it's hard to tear out of Nathaniel's hands, but it's also because I didn't know I was going to be presenting here as of 2 weeks ago. But we have a prototype, and this is purely functional. It doesn't look great. I think it even has some exposed PVC in it, but it was a proof of concept for us, and it really inspired us. Wow, this is possible, and we're capable of this level of engineering, and the science is here. So that's what really counted.
Sure. So one thing with something like this, to me, if I'm a buyer, like a hotel or something like that, I'm going to want more than just like anecdotal evidence, right? Or just say, hey, we think this is good. Like some type of scientific study, a botanist or something who's tested this out that can back up the claim would be super important. Have you guys thought through that?
So, yes, we've thought about third-party studies. Can I let you in on a secret? This is our dream, okay? Because
don't say it too loud. It's just between me and you, man.
Studies are great, but to see is to believe. So, this is partially why I'm here right now. If you're a videographer, come talk to me, because I want to set up a time-lapse camera for a week. One vase here, flowers. Vase here, flowers. Just watch and be able to post that anywhere, put that on YouTube, put that anywhere. that speaks so much louder than a study. Of course, you need to have studies if you want maybe the corporate world to invest, but for the average person, that's what I would want to pursue.
Sure, okay. That's all I got, man. Well, it's a good job.
Thank you.
Hey, great presentation. Freshmen, I'm amazed. I am amazed. So I'm going to riff off Scott on the end here. The $50 or $49.99 price point, I would really attack and try to get that price down if possible. In other words, build some additional margin in and maybe think about not just a single design. I mean, you got a utilitarian kind of MVP sitting there today, but can you come out with different colors, different designs that, on the base, so that you appeal to a broader audience? Because, if you're going to go into hotels or businesses, et cetera, you may not just have the same, simple design sitting there.
Right, if I can speak to that, it's not just important that a vase is functional. A vase is something that's on your dinner table, so it's got to look good too. So I totally understand that.
Yeah, and I think that's where if you can build a little bit more margin from your price point and have some options, I think you may have some, better traction with the market space you're looking at. Really well done. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Davis. Now we have a solution for dyeing flowers, but I still have no flowers.
My bad. But let's get into the video from one of our sponsors for tonight's prizes.
I'm Christian. Did you know where the prizes went? Like the AirPods?
We lost the prizes?
No, Christian, where's the AirPods?
I haven't seen. Wait, did the judges take the prizes?
Hold on. Guys.
Come on, guys.
Come
we're
on,
going
we
to take those
invited you
back.
here.
Sorry, guys. Those aren't for you
Sorry.
today. Those are for our audience members.
Yes, who's ready?
Alrighty. Well, before we give away these awesome Apple products, we have a quick merch bundle to give out. So do you want to take it away and give us our first winner?
All right, our first winner is Andrew Kapira. Did I pronounce that right? Andrew Grabbery?
Here he
Oh,
comes.
yes,
All
okay,
right.
there we go.
Give it up for Andrew.
Yeah. All right, and then our next prize is our AirPods. All right, David Prima?
David Rietma.
Rietma. All right, and our last prize. Do you want to announce that one?
And our last prize is Naomi Aguar. Naomi? She's in the back. Let's go. Well, huge thanks to our generous sponsor, Igniting Souls. We're going to get right into the last but not least contestant of the night. Would you please welcome to the stage with a touching message, Josh DeLong and Sam Coral.
All right, what's up? My name is Sam Corral.
I'm Josh DeLong.
And we are representing our brand, Break Free. Break Free is a clothing brand that is against addiction. I started Break Free because for 7 years, I was trapped in an addiction to pornography up until this July when I gained the courage to tell someone, Josh. And it hasn't been an easy 2 months, but he's kept me accountable, and I am now 1 month clean and still going strong. Thank you. So let's look at some statistics. Porn sites are visited by more than 40 million US users each day. The average age a person discovers porn is 13 years old. 64% of Christian men have admitted to viewing porn at least once a month. And additionally, 15% of Christian women have also admitted to viewing it at least once a month. So that's our target demographic. We plan to, in the beginning, focus on individuals, young adults and high schoolers who struggle with porn addiction. However, we would like to expand to same age, but those who struggle with substance related addictions. So what do we offer? If we could have our models come out. Right now we have 3 designs on our website. Each of these were designed by me, and they mean a lot to me. Each of them on the front showcases a date in Roman numerals, and under it, the Latin phrase, which means free since. That is the date that I broke free. Eventually, we would like to expand to allow customers the option to personalize each shirt with their own date of breaking free. This first one, if y'all could turn around, is a Stronger Together. This was inspired by my story with Josh here. Basically, it's just to show people that there's nothing to be ashamed of and that it's way harder when you're alone. So we need that community to successfully break free.
Second one is straight edge. Originally a subculture of the hardcore punk rock movement, it has become a term for somebody who's practicing an abstinent lifestyle. The definition of abstinent is refraining from an activity or the consumption of something, especially alcohol or substance abuse. As you see probably a lot in your public high schools or private high schools, community colleges, public universities is where I go, and even private institutions like Cedarville, this epidemic of addiction, no matter what it is between alcohol and substances, is growing rampant. And this shirt is for that.
Our final shirt on the far right for you guys is what we are calling our staple tee. It says break free and shows an open prison cell to signify that you have broken free. This is a statement that people can wear to proudly show that they have broken free from their addiction. Each of these shirts costs $18 to produce. We are selling them for $30, which is consistent with brands similar to ours, like Jesus Loves You or Elevated Faith. And shipping cost is $5 for your total order. We plan on marketing through both our Instagram and influencer marketing. We're currently in talks with 2 bigger pages, one of which for the youth, which highlights creators who share very similar morals to us, as well as a bigger Christian meme page or meme account, Josh Benson, who is one half of the Church Chad meme account, if you have ever heard of them. So let's get into our Instagram.
Give it up for the models first, everybody. Round of applause for them. Shout out. All right. This is a very big part of our brand as well, the moral mood board on our Instagram, which we link in the bottom left of each slide, except for this one. You'll have to look at it the next slide. But a moral mood board. What is the definition of a mood board first? The definition is an arrangement of images, materials, pieces of text, etc., intended to evoke or project a particular style or concept. As Christians, as we all know, living the way God intended us to live is vital and very important. And in today's culture, we don't see that a lot today between the young people and even the older generations. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of mood boards posted all over social media, such as Hidden New York and ours. But what makes ours different? What makes ours different is we're for the Christian community, such as you guys, ourselves, everybody here, and the people around us, to have a place to go for community. Because community is key. Without community, I truly do not know where I would be. Actually, I do know where I'd be. I'd be in the same situation that I was in for 8 years since 5th grade, trapped in the seemed like bottomless pit that I was in for 8 years. But there is hope, and it's community. Without me talking to Sam like he said, I'd still be in the same sin that I was in. And now that I am broken free, I am free, and you can be free too. This is your community. Break free with us.
So, what do we have planned for the future? Well, we have 2 new collections that we plan on dropping late September and early October. We plan on starting an Instagram channel, which is essentially a giant group chat for all of our followers to join. They cannot reply to any of the messages. We can send them messages. We plan on doing this to send motivation and encouragement to people who have broken free or are trying to. Also, Freedom Fridays, we plan on highlighting each Friday a member of the community who has broken free. Also, as I said, we would like to add the option to personalize each piece with each person's date of breaking free. This can be done one of two ways. We can do it manually by adding a message board to each product site. Either that or build our own website that has the feature built in to change each shirt to their date of breaking free.
So, this is the newest collection that we'll be releasing in the next month or so, designed by myself. I'd like to call it the Scarlet Letter Collection, and I'd like to share it with you all and the judges tonight. So as you see on the left tee, it has a big back design exclaiming the word free in a static lettering representing how excited and joyful I am and how we are to be broken free from our sins and our shame. And in the middle one is our callback to our Christian roots in our star tee, I'd like to call it, with the cross, as well as our FREE, kind of secretly hidden around the star in bold print. And on the right, you see my personal favorite, which I like to call the sword tee, is a callback to Ephesians and the sword of the Spirit, which is my personal favorite book of the Bible, as well as our logo, our BF initials, broken into, because my sin has been broken into by the Lord Jesus Christ, and it is on the handle there, and our sin has been torn into and has been broken by the Lord Jesus Christ.
As we said, this will be dropping late September. So, thank you for listening to us. As a gift for sitting through 6 presentations, we wanted to offer you guys 20% off our entire site using code PITCH, P-I-T-C-H, at breakfreeapparel.co. Gets you 20% off your entire order for the next 24 hours.
Take a picture of it. Take a picture of it. Follow us on Instagram. Check out the website. You don't even have to buy anything. It's the support that matters. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Break free with us.
Guys, can you keep that round of applause going? It takes a lot of boldness to come up here and talk about what these young men just talked about. It takes a lot of courage to do what you guys just did and come up here and talk about your weakness and how you've overcome it. So, a tremendous amount of respect for you on what you just did. Your cost on the shirts is too high. I think you can get that down quite a bit, and I'm happy to help. I some factories that I think I can help you out with that. As far as the design, I think you just need a little bit more brand consistency. I think people need to be able to look at the logo or the general design. Your newest collection has a little bit more consistency in the brand, more so with the color, but I think people need to be able to identify or realize what it means. Just so, I think that's gonna send the message, just have the uniformity with the brand. I think that would be important. I just wrote down courage about 3 times. The courage that it took you guys to come up here and talk about that, I'm blown away. And amazing, absolutely amazing. And last thing that I have is with your, where was your quote coming from? Where were you having it made right now?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Where are you having the shirts made?
We are outsourcing it to printify.com. That was the best that I found through trial and error. It ships the fastest and has the lowest cost.
Yeah, no worries. I was just curious. So it's domestic. I like the idea a lot. Again, the brand consistency is going to be big because you can get a trademark on the company name. You can get a trademark on the logo, but I didn't see any of the logos really consistent across. In a couple instances they were, but the movement behind it. One just small suggestion. I thought about it, and chains being broken, being set free. I thought about maybe even doing something, a shirt that comes with a bracelet of some sort, almost like the Live Strong movement. Just an idea. Maybe it's a bad one, but something that I thought of. So,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I second that sentiment, man. It takes a lot of courage to talk about any addiction whatsoever, but that porn addiction is a really bad epidemic in our culture, man. So, I mean, props to you guys for trying to do something to help people break those chains. One thing I was going to ask is, have you guys had any influencers, celebrities, anybody like that that you've partnered with or that you've given the shirts to that want to start wearing the brand and kind of pushing it for you?
So we're still fairly new. This is an idea I had like within the first week that I got here at Cedarville. So right now we are mainly just in talks with influencers. We're trying to find more that match up with our morals and people that we can work with. Sure.
I mean, it probably won't be, easy because I mean, a lot of them aren't believers, but I'm sure you can find some. One company I was thinking of, have you guys ever heard of Covenant Eyes?
Yes.
Yeah, that might be a company that you may want to reach out to see if you can do some type of partnership. They sell a lot of software, as you guys know, and so it might be a good inroad for you. How many have you sold so far? Have you sold any?
So our website has been up for about a week. We've sold 10 shirts solely based off of word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I'm going to buy a shirt today, so just support you guys. And again, great job. I'm really proud of you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, really well done. Really well done in terms. I love the passion. I love the commitment to, and the courage to come out here. I had the same reaction and from a price point, but I'm an old cheap guy, right? But I would tag up with Scott, see if there's some options there. I think that would help a lot. I love the idea of a community and changing and building movement and getting a movement underway. And I think to Travis's point, I'm not sure you have to do it all by yourself. So I think partnering would be a really powerful way to grow the brand. And make the movement bigger and have more reach. Because I think you're selling shirts, but your passion is really in the movement to make change, right? And glorify Christ. So I think if you can partner up and maybe get some free advertising with that partnership, that would really help. In other words, sponsor, support each other. That would go a long, long way. And I think especially being college students, that would take a little burden off you in the beginning too. Honestly. So well done. I love the courage. I love you guys stepping out on this. Fantastic. Really good stuff. Thank you. Outstanding.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you guys. What a great message and product. And honestly, thank you to everyone. Great ideas tonight. And the judges have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, and while we give the judges some time, I would like to invite Dr. Smith to talk and give us the message of why we're all here tonight.
Thank you. As they mentioned, I'm Dr. Daryl Smith. I'm a professor here at Cedarville. The judges saw a lot of quality presentations tonight, so we're going to give them some time to deliberate so they can go and do that. But I want to talk to you about some ideas around entrepreneurship. If I ask you to define the word entrepreneur, how would you answer that? I would suggest that an entrepreneur is someone who solves everyday problems so life goes better. Sometimes with novel solutions, and sometimes they solve problems we don't even know that we have. Example, growing up, right? Growing up into my adulthood, I never heard anyone say, gosh, I wish I had a phone that worked outside of my house or my office. But then someone came along and they invented the cell phone, right? Or the iPhone, right? A novel solution to a problem people didn't even know they had. Now, if I threatened to take your cell phone away from you, you'd probably freak out, right? I need that for life, right? That's what entrepreneurs do. If I ask you to think of the greatest entrepreneur that you know, who comes to mind? Maybe some of you would say Elon Musk. Maybe some of you Woz and Stephen Jobs of Apple, right? May I suggest, with all reverence and due respect, that the greatest entrepreneur of all is God. Think about it. What do we need as humans, right? We need oxygen. He developed a perfectly designed atmosphere. We need to see. He designed light and eyeballs. The ultimate entrepreneur, I would suggest, is God. Let me ask you another thought question. I like to ask questions. I'm a professor, right? What is the biggest problem in your life right now? If you'd ask me, I'd be tempted to say my car, due to a design flaw in the engine, has been broken for over a month, and it remains at the shop waiting to get fixed. Thankfully, I have a mother who loves me and has an extra car and has loaned it to me, right? That's helped solve my transportation problem. But that design flaw, some engineer somewhere made a mistake. They missed the mark. That's an archery term, missing the mark, missing the target. And I would suggest most of our problems in life are caused by people, either other people or ourselves, right? We don't do what we're supposed to do, or we do what we're not supposed to do, right? Or we fail in some way. The Bible has a term for that, because when we miss the mark with God. And the Bible has an old-fashioned word for that called sin. The Bible says all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. And I think if we're honest, we would all admit, yeah, I'm not perfect. I mess up, right? The Bible calls that sin. We live in a society now that's constantly calling for justice. All kinds of justice. They shouldn't be able to do that. They should be held accountable for that. Why do we let them get away with that? We're frequently calling for justice unless it's about ourselves, right? The Bible says that God is just, which actually should be a relief to us. We have a God who is just and loves justice. And here's what he says about our sin. He says the wages or the payment that we deserve, the justice we deserve for our sin is death. And that's not just physical death, that's separation from God forever in a place called hell. And you might say, ooh, that sounds a little harsh. I'm actually a pretty good person. Well, maybe you are. Depends on who you're comparing yourself to, right? You guys heard of the 10 Commandments? We used to hang those in schools, right? Let me just whip through 3 of them real quick. Have you ever told a lie? Have you ever failed on your parents? Have you ever failed to take a day of rest in a week? If so, you're 3 for 3 in breaking the 10 Commandments, right? But let me tell you the one that gets me personally really hard. Jesus was once asked, what's the greatest commandment? And he said to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. I have to confess, I failed at that today. And I fail at that frequently. I teach statistics. I love numbers. Some of you are in my class. I feel for you. I feel your pains. But I figured out if I broke the greatest commandment just once a day for 5 years, I would have broken God's greatest commandment over 1,800 times. Suddenly, I don't look like that good a guy anymore, right? So I would suggest our biggest problem is our sin. But remember, God is the ultimate entrepreneur. He came up with a very novel solution for the problem that some of us didn't really realize we had maybe until tonight. He put on flesh and blood. He came down to this earth and lived as a man named Jesus Christ. He lived a perfect life. He healed the sick. He preached good news. And you know what we did to him as humans? We nailed him to a cross and we killed him. And they took him down and they put him in a tomb, stone cold dead. But 3 days later, he came back to life, validating the claim that he made that he indeed is God. So why did he have to die? Remember I said God is about justice? Jesus paid the penalty that I owed God for my wrongdoing and that you owed God. And now he offers a free pardon to anyone who wants to accept it. That is amazing. The Bible says, whosoever will call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. So how do you call upon the name of the Lord? It's as easy as the ABCs. I love acronyms. A, we need to admit that we're sinful. And I think most of us are willing to do that. B, believe that Jesus Christ died on a cross to pay for you and me missing the mark. A lot of people are good with that. The C is to call out to him, ask for forgiveness, and commit your life to him. Surrender. And that's where a lot of us are like, ooh, wait a minute, I want to be in control. Jesus said, if you lose your life for his sake, you actually gain it. Surrender is so hard for us as humans, but that's how we find the forgiveness we're looking for. A, admit we're a sinner. B, believe Jesus died on the cross for our sin. C, call out to him and commit our lives to him. If you're watching by live stream, if you're watching, listening in the audience, you could do that right now. You just surrender and say, I admit it, God, I have blown it. I beg for your forgiveness. Please take control of my life. That simple decision will absolutely transform your life. In closing, I've been thinking about it. I think most people are looking to know and feel that they're loved. They're looking for peace, they're looking for hope, and they're looking for forgiveness. And sometimes we're looking for it in all the wrong places. Please know that you are loved. The Bible says God demonstrated his love for us, and that while we were sinners, and that while we were rebels against him, Christ died for us. But you will not feel that love. You will not experience that peace. You will not find that hope until you find the forgiveness that Jesus is offering. So I encourage you, surrender to find real life. That's why God, I believe, is the ultimate entrepreneur. A novel solution for our greatest problem at a great cost to himself. He bled and died the color red of my tie to pay for our pardon. Thank you, God. You know, here in a moment, we are going to give away a gift to someone in the audience. That gift is kind of a picture of what God does. He offers us a free gift of forgiveness that was paid for by his son. Then following that, we will hear from our judges. They're going to share with us who they feel was the best entrepreneur this evening in honor of the ultimate entrepreneur, our great God. So thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, Dr. Smith, for providing some great insight and meaning. Always a good reminder of just the work that was done for us on our behalf. So thank you for reminding of us that tonight. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, and while we wait for these last 2 minutes, while we wait for our answers on who won tonight, I'd like to just ask if we could get those QR codes back up on the screen, and you guys can scan and follow us on Instagram, the Q, Cedarville University Entrepreneurship. Guys, it's a great club. They hosted this event for us tonight. So can we get a round of applause for everybody a part of that? But yeah, let's ask how the audience feels tonight.
Definitely. Guys, who had fun tonight? Who enjoyed the pitch this year?
Contestants, how are you feeling? Each and every one of you did so amazing tonight, and we have an after party for you. Don't tell the audience.
Yes, hope to see you guys there. Well, as we wait just a quick moment here, we just want to express some more gratitude. We have a lot of viewers online. Can we give a warm thank you to all those that gave up some time tonight to watch the pitch online? Awesome. And also, we just want to give a warm thank you to each of our judges. Thank you guys for taking the time to deliberate and be with us tonight.
Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for being here and taking the time out of your week. Guys, we have our winners.
Who's ready to hear?
All right, Christian, tell us fourth place.
So in fourth place, would you give it up for Break Free, winning $200?
And in third place, winning $300, can we give it up for Glaze?
And in second place, would you winning $500, would you give it up for Aaron Perry with his running hat?
And then in first place, winning $1,000, can we get a drum roll? Timothy and Louisa with their Lenora pillow. Come up to the stage, guys.
Congratulations.
All right, guys, let's get in the middle and get a picture.
You all just want to take a step forward.
And while they get their pictures, we just want to say one more time, thank you so much for coming and have a good night.